Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. Today, we'll see a team that can get it done on the ground. The Steelers are top 10 in rushing TDs, and they'll go up against a Pats defense that needs to be ready for it.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. They love the black and gold here in the Steel City, and a few moments ago, their Steelers emerged from the Heinz Field tunnel. They're set, we're set, as the Steelers are ready to do battle with Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their 35-year-old quarterback in his 14th year now, Ben Roethlisberger.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, add that play to his resume reel because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. And he's going to be out of bounds right at the 40. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. That's a matchup maybe they go back to their outer third of the field as this game continues.
Yeah, I think back to my high school coach, John Ford. He used to say when we got big plays early in a game or good plays, he'd always say, foul it away, lad, foul it away, because he'd want to come back to it later in a key situation. They may come back to this one a little more often than that.
Didn't he say laddie or did he say lad?
Yeah, it just depended on what he was feeling at the moment.
Okay, I thought that was the guy you told me about. These say laddie a lot.
Laddie, when you heard laddie, he was usually in a pretty good mood. Lad,
Now Bell, nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. The numbers for Bell on the ground of the game last week. 21 carries, 80 yards.
Has 9 rushing touchdowns on the season, so a lot of credit has to go to the rest of the offense because you know those big guys up front are doing work. But now, the goal is to get to 10. And don't for a second think that the defense doesn't know that. They'd like to do their best to keep him out of the end zone in this one.
And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a third down and 8. This offense has some speed, and certainly Martavis Bryant, he has some speed.
He has that, and he has size. That's what makes him so difficult to cover, because just when you think you have to play him one way, the other attribute kicks in. Martavis Bryant could be an all-star real soon.
On third down, Roethlisberger. He gets it to Brown, complete. A very solid gain of 27. And connection number 1 there on the game, Roethlisberger to Boney Tony. Antonio Brown, that's what his high school teammates used to call her.
I wonder what they would call him now.
More muscular, more successful Boney Tony Brown, right?
I'd say you're probably right. It may be all of that. They'll still call him Boney Tony, but Ben Roethlisberger calls it my number 1 target.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now a first down carry by Bell. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. And quickly, let's check out the New England defense.
Malcolm Butler burst on the scene in Super Bowl 49 with his iconic interception of Russell Wilson to seal the deal for New England. What it underscored, his ability to understand what offenses are trying to do, put himself in the proper spot. That's something he's done throughout his career.
Second down following the run. Here's Roethlisberger. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Dante Hightower in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. So a first quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them. Maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you.
Here's Roethlisberger. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So the folks here in the stands this afternoon, they're happy about that one. Their guys get the early advantage after the opening drive field goal.
And they should be happy. Their guys look good getting down the field, and that's got to give them hope that good things are in store here today.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Set to return. This is Brandon Cooks. So here come the Patriots now on offense. The man under center leading them now 40 years of age in his 18th year out of Michigan, the great Tom Brady.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
And he's got Edelman for the first time. That's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he fires to Edelman, complete on the comebacker. And he's brought down. 17 yards there for the Patriots as they've got themselves a first down. 2 plays, 2 catches. You have a feeling they're going to look for him early and often, and that's to be expected. You got a player of his caliber, why not?
And I think it's also a message from them to the defense that you're not going to dictate to us what we're going to do with one of our better players, because so often you hear about defenses saying we're going to take away what you do best. In this case, they're going to move him around, find proper matchups, and make sure they continue to funnel the ball to him.
There's a carry now from Mike Gillislee. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Now let's give you a look here at the New England offense.
Well, we all know that Rob Gronkowski is one of the premier tight ends in the NFL, but what makes him that way is the size. We see that. The ability to run, he's faster than a lot of wide receivers. The agility, he's almost like a power forward in basketball, and the competitiveness. When that ball is released, he decides it's his and no one else's.
They stay on the ground. This is Gillislee again. And he'll take this one down to the 36. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. And the starting defensive unit here for Pittsburgh.
When talking about Cameron Hayward, I think it's a mistake if people just describe him as a base defensive end because, yes, he does hold up well against the running game and holds the point of attack, but I think he also has very good pass rush moves as he makes his way towards the quarterback.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. It's caught outright, Amendola. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So a good snap, good hold, and that one's right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, Brandon.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now Roethlisberger going to hand the bell.